Welcome to Barai vs YouTube channel. 2020 was a tough year for us all and tested everybody to limits. COVID 19 brought the whole world to a standstill, with economies crashing, markets collapsing, airlines filing for bankruptcy, and woes containing for the lower middle class all around the globe. COVID 19 proved the scariest of all the scares for us all. While economies were crashing and national currencies lost their values, the rich simply got richer by piling on large sums of money. Renowned businessmen like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and Bill Gates had an average 57% increase in their wealth during these COVID times. However, newbies in the field, particularly the startups, suffered a great deal. On average, 72% of the startups saw a decline in their revenues, with the average decline being 32%. As each dark night is followed by a bright sunny day, the horrors of 2020 yielded to the optimism associated with 2021. The whole Indian nation witnessed a ray of hope and a breeze of a fresh air on Monday, that is 1st of February, as Indian Finance Ministry revealed an allocation of a mammoth 830 crore INR for startups. What indeed is expected to be a fresh start for this sector of economy promises to contribute significantly to the growth of the nation. Here, we shall try to cover all the details of this momentous announcement in 20 points, starting with its background and in the lead up, revealing the reason behind the bold move while concluding with its implications on various subdomains. Background. Initially, the estimated amount for this sector in Indian budget for the year 2020 to 2021 was between 400 to 430 crore mark. But the realization of the impact of this move was enough to convince the authorities to raise the bar by another 400 crore Indian rupees, thus giving Indian startup industry a huge boost and sense of acknowledgement. Multiple reasons have led to this brave call, which marks the evolution of a new and improved India. Employment opportunities. Focus on the startup sector is significantly crucial. It will play a pivotal role in the reinvention and growth of the Indian economy while creating considerable employment opportunities. Point number 1. Exponentially increasing population. Under this, India is home to the world's second largest population, which is also the fastest growing one, and will surpass China as the world's largest population by the year 2027, according to the UN Population Division report. Hence, the Indian government and the planning agency must ensure that a sustainable and innovative environment is promoted. Point number 2. Youth and innovation. Currently, Indian youth below 25 years of age constitute 34.6% of Indian population. The number is bound to increase as time goes on. To give young entrepreneurs an opportunity is a wise call. It will not only encourage and promote the creative minds to think out of the box, this will also enable the country to establish itself as an innovation hub, hence guaranteeing ultimate success, prosperity and exponential growth. Point number 3. Economic growth. India's economy will see an 8% contraction in the fiscal year 21 due to unprecedented pandemic situation ending March 31st, 2021. However, the positive part of it is that the economy is expected to bounce back with an expected 11.5% growth in the fiscal year 2022. India is the only country projected to register double-digit growth in the year ahead as per its latest World Economic Outlook update. The decline was obvious in the previous year. However, if India is to make some real progress and grow as an economy, It has to value its local talent, and that can only happen if full support is extended to its general public, particularly the youth. Only then that 11.5% growth prediction is going to be true. Point number 4, Startup India program. The allocation for Startup India program has been increased only a fair bit to rupees 20.83 crore for the fiscal cycle 2021 to 2022 from the previously revised estimated value of 200 million INR in the year 2020 to 2021. Startup India program targets fostering entrepreneurship and promoting creativity by creating a systematic atmosphere which is supportive to the growth of new aspiring entrepreneurs. It is expected to contribute significantly to the shifting trends in the country. Point number 5, Guarantee Fund. Similarly, the government took a special liking to the Guarantee Fund, which provides third-party credit risk mitigation to lenders through the absorption of a portion of the lender's losses on the loans made to SMEs in case of default, typically in return for a fee, and raised its allocation to 3 billion. Point number 6, Tax holidays extended. This year, extension in tax holidays for startups certainly makes the direction of government clear to the layman. In her budget announcement speech, Indian Finance Minister Sitharaman announced an extension of the tax holiday to startups by another year to March 31, 2022. During her Union Budget 2021 address, hence the newly established business will enjoy this exemption for another year till the end of the next fiscal cycle on 31st March 2022. Previously, in the year 2017, a similar announcement had paved the way of this aspiring startup ecosystem, which is the third largest right now. Back then, the announcement stated that startups could avail a tax holiday for 3 out of 7 years from the date of incorporation. Startups can avail this exemption provided that annual turnover does not exceed INR 250 million in any fiscal year. Indian Insurance Act 1938 amended. Under this, the proposal to amend the Insurance Act 1938 was a great step too. The decision to increase permissible foreign direct investment limit from 49% to 74% in insurance companies at the Union Budget 2021 will attract more foreign investment and eventually give the youth another opportunity to transform their creative geniuses into practical applications. While this would allow foreign ownership and control of insurance companies in the country with certain fallbacks. The restraint include the condition that the majority of directors on the board of such companies and key management person will have to be Indians, with 50% directors being independent directors and a specified percentage of profit being retained as general income of the corporation. Point number 9, Digital Payments. Financial tech was also on the radar of the Finance Ministry. The fact that the Indian government proposed allocating INR 1.5 billion to boost the influx of digital payments, as well as other measures to boost financial inclusion, indicates how COVID-19 has shifted the trend. Indian Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has proposed to set up a world-class financial technology hub near Gujarat capital Gandhinagar at Gift City. The announcement is viewed as a real positive, and some people are referring to it as the face of a transformed India. Point number 10, Lower compliance burden. A real sign of relief for the startups has been the announcement of lowering of compliance burden on startups. Finance Minister proposed to revise the definition under Companies Act 2013 for small companies. This included increasing their threshold for capitalization from not exceeding INR 50 lakh to not exceeding INR 2 crore and turnover from not exceeding INR 2 crore to not exceeding the new limit of INR 20 crore. According to her, this will eventually help over 200,000 small companies. Point number 11, digitization in MCA affairs. We all know how things have changed over the past decade and how much impetus has been on digitization. Keeping that in view, the Finance Minister Sitaraman proposed to use data analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning to make regulatory filings more frictionless for business and startups in a revamp of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs portal. The government had said that the ministry would look to introduce AI based features in MCA 21 when version 3.0 of the portal is rolled out. The Ministry of Corporate Affairs updated portal is expected to have fundamental features such as a single source of truth, ease of doing business, e-adjudication, online compliance monitoring, among others. This is targeted with the idea of ensuring more authenticity and improving the overall understanding of the market by making all the more comprehensive. For the startup ecosystem, this is crucial as MCA 21 shares crucial information to various stakeholders such as the regulators, investors, and companies. All filings under the various laws for companies and business in India are submitted through this portal. Point number 12, Railways electrification and opportunities. The Finance Minister also proposed 100% electrification of railways by 2030 along with plans to boost the share of public transport in urban areas during the Union Budget 2021 address. The government has announced an outlay of INR 18,000 crore for the same for the year 2020 to 2021 period. The minister also talked about bringing in Metrolite and Metronom technologies, which are rail-guided urban transport system with rubber-tired electric coaches powered by an overhead traction system running to elevate or 8 grade sections in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. So, with an evolving economy, the opportunities are bound to increase. It's up to the youth of the country to now absorb it and use it to good effect. Point number 13, decriminalization of LLPs. Budget 2021 also focused on decriminalization of limited liability partnership with the flexibility to convert a company to any form or LLP to benefit more than 2 lakh companies in easing the compliance requirement. Point number 14, Social Security to employees. Another key proposal is extending Social Security protection to gig and platform workers, which Sitaraman claimed is a global first. The government plans to launch a website that will collect information on gig and construction workers among others and help formulate health, housing, skill, insurance, credit and food schemes for all. So for those who are looking for a break in this field by hiring a certain number of workers, the government offers to take care of them. Point number 15, green signal for the one-person companies. Finance Minister Sitaraman said the government plans to incentivize the incorporation of one-person companies, OPCs, by allowing them to grow without any restriction on paid-up capital and turnover and convert it into any other type of company at any time. The government is also highly likely to reduce the residency limit for an Indian citizen to set up an OPC from 182 days to 120 days and allowing non-resident Indians NRIs to incorporate OPCs in India. Hence, individuals planning to launch single-person companies can have their shot now. Point number 16, digital census and its implications. Another rather surprising announcement stated that the next general census in the country will be the first digital. This will mean a boost in business for both hardware companies, which will likely see a surge in sales of laptops, tablets, smartphones, and printers, as well as software companies that will run and build the technology enabled back end. So, those having their knowledge and interest in these fields are set to multiply their gains as this phase of the market is set to boom. Point number 17, glory days for textile sector. The textile sector is also said to have their fortunes changed overnight. Finance Minister announced while presenting the budget 2021-2022 in Parliament. The exact words of her announcement were, a scheme of mega investment textile parks will be launched in addition to the PLI scheme. She informed that 7 mega textile parks will be launched in 3 years as part of this scheme. The mega textile parks will have integrated facilities and quick turnaround time for minimizing transportation losses. Eyeing big ticket investment in the sector. The plan is to lead the global textile market and to establish India as the hub of textile exports, not just in this region but worldwide. Point number 18, exporters have the share of the pie. For the export section of the economy, the budget certainly had multiple things in it. By encouraging these startups, the government certainly has arranged for goods production. What's necessary now is to encourage their promotion and create opportunities for the general public to export their locally produced quality product. The total allocations for export promotion schemes were also increased. The particular examples are the Market Access Initiative and Interest Equalization Scheme. The increased figure in rupees 2,365 crore for 2021 to 2022 against the revised estimated of rupees 2,175 crore in 2020 to 2021. As a consequence, Indian exporters are expected to grow significantly with the estimates lying between 2.5 to 4.5% increase.
Hello, that was a really wonderful speech by Aarti ma'am based on the 18-point research speech done by her. Now, 2 points I would like to add in this video is that duties are going to be increased for certain auto parts, which would lead in the less importation, and we would be focusing more on the domestic sourcing, right? So this will trigger more demand from the local vendors, and there would be reduction on the imports for the automobiles industries. Moreover, government has also reduced the import duty for scrap, copper scrap, which would really turn out to be a boost for those industry who use such scrap as a raw material. So we can see the jump into the brass part segment as well in coming times. So overall, this budget has proved out to be a good right for the startup into the various segment. We have also witnessed the big boost in the ceramic industry, but based on the anti-China segment, and other industries will also see a rise because of this budget. And yeah, there are also limitations and lot of areas to be focused on, or government can focus on, but here we have taken out the positive scenarios for the startups for the coming times. So finally, we will conclude this speech via Aarti ma'am with her conclusion mark.
Thank you, sir. for the wonderful information. Now let me conclude with my final conclusion. The budget has largely been appreciated from all segments of the society. This is a commendable budget as it will speed up the pace of growth in India. The provisions made in this regard for infrastructure development are revolutionary. This budget will also reduce the dependency on China. Arrangements have been made in this budget to make the agriculture sector also dynamic. The steps taken to promote quality of life will benefit in the long run, and Atmanirbhar concept will gain stronger roots. Now, it's the responsibility of the nation, particularly the young entrepreneurs, to utilize these chances for their own benefits and help country rise to the glories of economic stability and growth. Thanks for watching. Kindly do visit our website www.exportimport.guru for all help and support.